Hey, my name is Caroline Mutoko, and I have bought and I own land in Kenya. And actually, that's a conversation we're going to have with a person who actually has a YouTube channel that talks about that, Solomon Wangwe. He came into my life purely by serendipity. I cannot even begin to tell you how I ended up buying land through Solomon. That's a story for another YouTube video. What I want you to know is this: I buy land for the same reasons probably you do. In my 20s, it's because my mother kept asking, so what are you doing with all this money you're earning? So obviously, I followed her lead, Rongai, Kidogo hapa Kitengela, Bamburi in Mombasa, and yes, that happened. But when I became a mother, one of the things I did is I looked at my daughter and I thought, I need to make a significant investment in your life, yours, not mine, so that by the time you hit your 16th birthday, I have actually created an investment that can pay for your college fees, because college fees are crazy, all right? And then I also bought through Solomon land in Nanyuki just because I love Nanyuki. And I find it very strange that when I say I bought something because I like it, people look at me a bit strangely. I'm thinking, but that's the reason I buy stuff. I bought this watch because I liked it. I bought these shoes because I like them. And I like the idea of living in Nanyuki. So when I bought land in Nanyuki, it's because I loved it. But Solomon, this question is for anybody who's thinking, she's crazy. Why should you buy land? Why at all?
Well, there's literally, we could talk about it for days, to be completely honest. Many reasons for buying land. But the basic premise is you're making an investment. It's why people buy land.
Right.
You're trying to save, you're trying to build a good nest egg for your future. And historically, that's been true the world over.
Okay.
So, you know, I'll just cover a few varied ones, and then I'll get to the main reason why you should buy land. So in Kenya particularly, people buy because pressure from parents.
It's the thing to do.
Yeah, it's a kind of a rite of passage.
Yes.
When you're out of the house, you're working, you have some
Mark
disposable
that one, it's a
income.
rite of passage, and especially for guys. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Mwanaume ni poloti bwana.
Yeah, and there are historical reasons for that.
Yes.
From colonial days.
Yes.
All the land belonged to the queen at some point, and then she gave it back to the government, and the first administration redistributed the land,
Yes.
not in the same way that it was used before.
Yes.
So our parents' generation, for example, grew up and started working to get back as much as
Of that.
what they lost.
Yes.
Right. And
Yeah.
you know, particularly for me, I watched my parents do that. Buy little plots of land, you know, random places, not even where they're from.
Yes.
Right. And so for my generation, it's kind of like a rite of passage. This is something we do.
It's something we
Rather
do.
than leave money in the bank, we buy land.
And get a whooping 6% for it.
Right. It's and historically, I even read this in a recent report by House Consult that land in Kenya, specifically since independence, has outperformed every investment class, hands down.
No, that I didn't know.
Yeah, every investment class has not matched the returns in land since independence, and that's going to be true for as long as we have a sense of order, a working government, security, land rights, and enforcement of law. So that's a very, very good reason.
It's a good reason to buy land?
To buy land, right? And that I think is at the heart of it, because at the end of the day, even if you're buying because you like it, it needs to give you some kind of return.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, then you might reprioritize it. And so that would be the biggest one for me.
Okay.
Just getting superior returns from what is in the market. And Kenya specifically, and I know we chatted about this before,
Yes.
but Kenya for the last 5 to 6 years has performed very superior to most global markets. I know in 2014, 2015, specifically, even according to Knight Frank, Nairobi, for example, outperformed Tokyo, London, New York, all the staple names for property investment. And that baffles a lot of people, but it's a reality. So that's a very important reason for buying land in Kenya. And we're talking about land, right?
We're talking about land.
Not property.
Land. Actually, that's very important. So you've got it. And I would like you to literally to take a moment here, go get yourself a cup of coffee, and then tell your friend, come back. He said something that I never heard before. I actually didn't know the stats on Tokyo and New York, and I just thought, it's probably more expensive elsewhere, and the returns on it is probably, but actually no.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Upper Hill, for example.
Tell me.
Recently, it was even in the newspapers. Upper Hill is the most expensive real estate in Africa, outside of Sandton, South Africa. That kind of puts things in perspective.
It does.
And we're talking about land, not developed.
Not development, just land.
Right.
Just land.
Right.
So I think I asked the right question and then I got the right answer. Why buy land in Kenya? Now you know. I have bought and I own land in Kenya, and I think it is your turn. And the person to speak to is Solomon Wangwe from Goshen. When we come back, I'm going to ask him another. I can hear it. You're saying, but Caroline, it seems so complicated, so difficult. Why should I do this? And then what do I need to know? That in a moment.